All right. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so today I am going to be joining in with Decoy and Rhaegar, and hopefully a bunch of other people. We're going to be doing a sort of fishing analysis hunt experiment. I don't know what you call it. We're data gathering for as much of the fishing stuff as we can. I put together a nicer spreadsheet of what my findings have been and combine that with some other stuff. So basically, I have lure sets that I've designed for certain things. So like clownfish is bloody flesh, small tooth, and I've kind of realized that there's a third item for most of them. So looking at my little handy dandy spreadsheet, for example, with the saddled lion eel, feather, small tooth, and scales should be a 100% lure for this. Axolotl is blue scales, small tooth, and feathers. I've got a lot of those, so I'm just going to try one here. So, that's not what I want. Blue scales, tooth, feathers. That right there is, let's see, what did I say that one was for? Axolotl. And oddly enough, those are the same three things you need for the saddled lion eel, from what I can tell. So it's just a different order of how those are going to be laid out. Now, you know me. I'm going to go ahead, try to look good while fishing as a 40-year-old Asian man. It's important to look good as a 40-year-old fishing Asian man. So this right here is a lure that I am 100% is going to catch axolotl and saddled lion eel. Hey, Luca. Yeah, I mean, most of it is pretty straightforward. I mean, if I just need a quick look at something, I can just grab my sheet. But for anything a little bit more advanced, I'll get you to cross-reference for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna hop in Discord with Decoy and Rhaegar right now. So give me 1 sec and let me know if you don't hear them in Discord. What's up?
Welcome.
What's up, Aeon?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good, how are you?
Ooh,
I am good.
almost close to the dragon.
About ready to do lots and lots and lots of
You're
tedious
almost to the
fishing?
dragon.
You know it.
Sweet. Just the
Once you
attitude I need.
go City, you'll
Yep.
start getting the Sisless Bestiary quest. And you just follow that, and it's like the third quest. Once you go to zoology. Yeah. And Guild City. Have you been to Guild City yet?
Yeah.
There's a guy named
Yeah.
Sisless after, like, once you go in the, like,
Okay,
college
then
thing.
I'm gonna force my boyfriend to do that with me then.
Alright.
Thank you.
Yep.
Wait, it's
Hello,
by the
hello.
Pope, right? Or not the Pope?
Yeah, like inside, like,
The
the
church?
library institution type thing.
I'm going to
Yeah.
put away, like, all of my gear.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
that's
call.
good.
I didn't do that.
I need that sweet, sweet weight.
The Sisless
Mhm.
Bestiary quest over in Guild City. You follow those quest lines. Nope. No. On like 2 updates from now, they can make them breedable, and you can change colors and stuff. Breed them, raise them from eggs. Yeah. Yeah. I'll look at the time. Yeah. The pet overhaul is April 11th. So April 11th, whenever that is. So a little less than a month.
Oh, I should see if I can brew up some fishing potions and whatnot.
We will not be using that during this event.
No potions? Okay.
No, just because if one person does it, then we all need to do it, or else the data is going to be inconsistent.
Makes sense.
Same for luck rings. We cannot
Yeah,
be
I think so.
operating with that.
I'm not exactly sure how it works yet.
I'll take them out of my inventory too.
I hear tell that they have influence on the actual loot drops, and we can't.
Nice.
If we get like under level 10 or whatever, they won't have them.
I gotta go drop off all my armor too, I guess. Yep, see ya. I have 35 pounds of armor on me. I should take some off.
Jeez, I am down to 4.6 pounds. I don't think I've ever been so low.
4.6. Do you have anything on?
I have the
Have you go
large
to wilds?
minnows still. I have harvester. I have a couple small tongues. I have 2 reagents, and that's it.
Like if you go somewhere where like mobs are high enough to attack you, you don't care?
Nah, not at all.
I guess it
I
means
guess
less stuff
kinda
to
wanna
repair too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my big thing. I don't want to have that armor on because I'll be taking fucking damage if I fucking die. Not down for that. I was tempted. I might bring my gun.
Yeah, it would definitely bring something.
I
And
mean,
like
I
2
can
healing
least-
orbs or something.
I'm capable.
At least being able to throw on like a level 20 weapon, then you can avoid aggro on a lot of
yeah.
stuff while you're walking by.
Well, your fishing class has the equivalent aggro as your highest level character.
Oh really? I
so-
didn't know that.
yeah.
That's
I know that.
interesting.
Yeah. The more you know. I think it's so stupid that rings are 1 weight.
Yeah.
Should I take off my luck rings probably for this?
Yes,
then?
definitely.
Yeah.
Take those off.
Dang. Oh my
Okay.
luck. Nah, 15 pounds.
Down to 12.4.
I take off one of my capes. I carry 2 capes with me.
Just so naked.
Should I bring a bunch of reagents?
I just have 2.
Yeah, I just bring 3 then.
And
got a
one's about to disappear.
Oh, what time is it? My potion's gone. 4. So I forgot when I took it, but 350-ish. Yeah, probably about 10
Katie
minutes. Yeah, I'll just take 13.4. I'm sure not gonna be carrying that many lures or anything.
Quantum just walked through the portal.
You walk through the what?
The portal that I made to Guild City.
Oh.
Alright.
You probably thought you were going over there.
Well, Katie can, yes, so I did it. But, alright. I guess this is gonna be the starter group. I'm sure other people will, trickle in. Carly, will you be joining us in Discord?
She died.
She has no interest.
Okay.
She broke.
Alright, so, y'all read my, little Iscariot. Iscariot? However you pronounce your name. Get into my Discord, buddy. Get into my...
The fishing one.
Hi there, I'm in.
Hey, there we go.
Cool.
Okay, so hang on. Carly, will you be joining us in Discord?
Sure.
Awesome.
Community fishing. Oh, I forgot to take all those orbs. Oh, jeez. Where's the green
Save all my
one?
in-game audio.
The stack. That's the body lantern one.
Oh, what's that blue?
Just have the chameleon.
Oh.
Just have faith.
Okay, so should I do all three? Think I can do all three?
What's the third one that you have?
Growth, chameleon, and lantern.
It's for science, decoy.
Got it.
Oh, you guys already in?
For
Discord?
science.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is Eris joining us?
Oh, you're a
Eris
cool
or
color.
Iris?
Who? Oh, he's red on my screen.
He's like a cool blue.
Eris, will you be joining us?
Yep. Discord's being a little weird for me, so
What color am I now?
I'm not in its voice.
You're bright red.
What's that for?
And have you been able to
We're-
read the
I'm running an
information?
experiment.
I mean, I'll be able to read once I
what-
join,
just drink
but,
it. But
it's just
why?
that
Just
after
drink it.
about 30 minutes ago, it started spinning, like saying it was trying to
I'm
connect,
scared.
but like
I
nothing
don't
was
want to.
updating or letting me do anything else.
Yeah,
Just,
you'll become cool like me. And her. Colors.
What color?
yeah.
Blue.
Eris-
You're yellow.
Eris, if you just reset Discord, I had the same issue today when I booted it up. So just give it
Probably
time and it
not
will
enough
open.
anymore.
Okay.
Oh,
Should I do the
you're
growth?
you're a
Body
bright
lantern?
blue.
He's
Look at
dark
your,
blue.
look at your
Quest.
fingers. Oh, for me, he's a light blue. And I'm dark blue in mine.
Should I wait to use my growth potion and lantern, or should I just use them now?
Just use it now.
I really hope all three stack.
Luca, it's a group thing, but it's through the community. I love growth potion.
Is
It's
it
so
doing it?
How do I
satisfying.
find quests?
Yeah.
You see
but-
lantern?
Yeah, maybe you should have done that at night, but yeah, I see it.
Oh, that's
Tom-
true.
Tom,
That would've been
was
cool
that
to
you
see.
asking about
Ah.
quests?
Yeah, I don't know where to find them.
Yeah,
have you
we
done
gotta
the
run that one again at night.
Have you done the King Stag quest yet?
Yeah, I just killed it, but I meant to take the meat to somewhere.
Okay, so you can look around, and if you see any people that have an exclamation mark, or if they have like a dialogue thing above their head, you can go up to them and wave.
Is there a quest log?
Yeah. So
No.
there's no log of what you've completed, but there is what you need to do. So if you grab your compass off your chest and then flip it over, a book
Yeah,
will
but
open up.
you.
Why is that so fun?
Yeah.
So then in that
So
book,
cool seeing everyone's-
you'll have a few quest pages right near the beginning.
I can't find where the quests are, but I've got the book open.
Okay.
No.
So you must just need to find one then. So I'm not sure at what point you're at, but there might be one right here. If you come over.
That was fun.
That was fun. I'll make a lantern and a body one, or I mean a growth one for
So
nighttime.
he might have a quest for you, this Marcel
They could really
Sendai.
freak people out.
No.
Okay.
Whoa.
Decoy, do you
Naturally.
remember what the other starting quests are after the stag?
The
Yeah, I'm meant to
Cooking
take
thing, I
the
think.
meat to somewhere.
Oh, right.
going to
Okay. So
chef?
come
Oh, it's here.
come over here.
It's a question mark.
that's and
Yeah, there you go. All right. Good
Oh.
luck, Tom.
Alright, thank you. Hi, Hunter.
It's been so long since I've done any of those very first quests.
Chameleon.
is hunting fun already in it?
He was.
Or fishing?
What's up?
Did you want to do a fishing event? Or we find
Oh, I
out
didn't know
what
anything
lures?
about it. I remember reading some about
If
it
you
a
look on
while
the
ago.
community right now, they're all in there. Is what we're doing and stuff. The Discord.
You gonna go fishing?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people going fishing.
Iscariot had some of my home cooking. That's why he's that color.
Oh, I see. Wow, I didn't realize you got mage to 20. Are you like master 20 yet?
No, I suck. I just know how to
Alright.
teleport and resurrect and fireworks. You know the three basics.
What's your?
Yeah, that's the only thing I know.
We're going to
Thanks.
start to get organized here.
Should I start making any kind of lures or like anything?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get started with. I need everybody to go make sure you put away
need a fishing event.
luck
Tell them something
rings.
on the
We're not
phone.
gonna be using fishing
Not at
potions,
all.
things
Yep.
like that.
Oh, that
Is
sounds.
that body lantern, Rhaegar?
Is it still going?
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
Alright.
have an
Yeah, it's body
aura
lantern
around
now.
you.
I hadn't used one, but I got
Well,
one.
I put away most of my gear. I'm down to 4 weight, so I have optimum
man.
moving capacity.
I don't know how you
Um,
got down to 4. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm only down to
Right?
12.
I got down to
I'm
6
leaving
and
my
I'm
armor.
impressed.
Well, I don't have any piece of armor on. I just have my weapon.
That
And honestly, I could get rid of my weapon if I quit my fishing rod.
That is
Lose a little bit
magic.
more. Hey, there she is.
Yep, it's up now.
Okay. So, if you have any luck rings, be sure to put
How do you
those
get those
away. We won't be
clothes?
using fishing potions for this.
Which
If everybody,
clothes?
Level up.
What's that?
This right here.
The ones I'm wearing?
You got it. You gotta kill stuff.
oh,
You just kill stuff.
Okay.
These are from the
So,
trading mines and
Rhaegar.
level dungeon. Yeah, decoy. I'm going to the
Okay.
house now. He was talking to me.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you
No
helping
problem, yeah.
others, but we're starting. So if y'all want to make one of each lure,
One of each.
yeah, just an individual straight lure by itself. We've got. Let me pull up my list.
How do you make a
Y'all know
string
your-
about itself? Oh. Like just like one lesser eye, one with a feather, one with a tongue.
One tongue, lesser eye, small teeth, feathers, blue scale,
Lesser eye.
rotten finger, large
feather.
minnow, eye worm, bloody flesh, and shiny metal.
I already gave you all my minnows, so I don't have any
Yeah.
minnows left.
So if y'all don't have something, let me know. I will sort it out, and we can.
Yeah.
Should I try one rotten finger? I'm pretty sure that won't do anything. But...
Yeah, one rotten finger. We're gonna cover our bases.
I don't have large minnows, shiny metal, and bloody flesh, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm missing
fine.
I'm missing minnow and flesh.
All right. We are in short supply of flesh, so if anybody does have a stock,
I don't
let
have
me
any
know.
flesh
If
either.
not, if nobody has it, then that will probably be in short supply and be used as a main ingredient only, and we can work out secondary and tertiary ingredients accordingly.
I've got some ideas on the bloody flesh ones for specific fish, and that there's a couple alternate. They may be secondary or maybe tertiary for bloody flesh, but I've only noticed it for a couple fish. So, yeah.
All right, no worries. So it's mostly the rare ingredients. I will quickly come outside so that y'all can get some of that. Does anybody else have any other large minnows that they wouldn't mind sharing? If not, we can just make sure that the jungle is one of the first fished areas. That way we get some while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made one of each. I just need a large minnow.
So what's the
That'll be
plan,
good.
Decoy?
Besides flesh, I don't have flesh either.
Hang on. We need to get
Hunt and
hunted in
Fun,
here.
I need you to get in Discord, buddy.
The communities.
Yeah, but then I'd hear all these people talking.
Oh, you just mute each person. Like you don't mute yourself, mute
Yeah, I
each
know.
person. Yeah.
Mute everyone else and be like, hey, no one's talking.
Okay. So, Rhaegar,
Yeah,
you
but
needed minnows?
Yeah. And I don't have a flesh either, but
I think the
Okay.
flesh. I
That's
think the
fine. I
flesh
don't
we
need
should
that.
just wait on because
Yeah,
Yeah.
the flesh will wait on.
that's
For
sort of
sure.
it's a top tier fish anyways, basically.
yeah.
I'll be
And
part of
and
the
I
group
just
to go
need one
find
minnow
flesh.
decoy.
You already have plenty of flesh?
We do not have plenty flesh. We could use more if you have some available.
I don't, but I'll go farm it. I used what I got yesterday. First time I seen
No
it.
worries, man. Don't worry about
Yes.
farming it. We will be careful with how we use it. That's all. And our information might be incomplete for now, but I will make sure to finish it off as I play the game a little bit more and go out to the aberrations. Iscariot, what do you need?
Large minnow, and if you got some flesh
Okay.
and
Hey guys,
metal.
sorry to interrupt, but I'm having a question about the compass.
I don't know. I just
Okay,
cut
so it's
out.
turning red and red and green for me, and when I shake it,
Thank you.
Hey,
like
hey, Urban,
yeah.
they're talking about something else. Follow me, I'll help you.
Aeon, what do you need, buddy?
Okay.
Just one
Behind
minnow.
Over here.
All right. I'll go ahead and give you 2 just because I'm going to be doing a little bit of something by myself, and so I might not bump into y'all for a little bit.
Yep.
Iris, can I get you anything?
The lures I have, let me look at them real quick.
So you just want to make like one of the individual ones for each of these to start
One
with.
individual
Yeah.
one. Yeah, we're gonna cover all of the bodies of water first thing, to see what's in there, and then we'll start working with secondary lures based on all the information that's been sent to me, and work from there.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in my house and get one of each with just the ones, because all the ones I have on there at the moment are paired.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can do the thing.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. I screwed up when I first got my first lesser eye. I made a lesser eye lure with a tongue and an eye on it, or a lesser
Weird.
worm, whatever it's called.
What a loser.
It'll still work, but it has tongue and lesser eye. Eye worm, that's what it's called. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna let me.
Oh, it's on my bow. That's
I'm
where
gonna
it's
give you
at.
another one.
So I got eye, feather, tooth,
I could
finger,
have just kept some. I didn't think about that.
tongue, and
but-
scales.
Ooh, I got a little bit of an idea here.
You have eye, feather, tooth, finger, and scales.
Yep, so eye, feather, tooth, finger, tongue, and scales.
Okay, so you
Small few
need minnow and the other rare ingredients then.
nails, ground finger, shiny metal, eye worm.
Everybody else already had an eye worm and shiny metal.
No, I only got eyeworm.
I have one more shiny metal if you need it.
Yeah.
I've
Decoy, I think,
got-
has a lot of those.
I have a
Okay.
decent amount from based on
Okay.
what's been donated. So I'd like to give y'all at least 2 of each, just because that'll be 18 lures total. Well, I guess 16 because we're not including bloody flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So who is it?
That was Iscariot.
Say, tell me what you need.
Iscariot just needs one shiny metal, one or two.
Okay.
And I think the rest of us are all basically decked out.
Iris needed a little bit of everything.
If you guys have your inventories basically cleared out, one thing you could do is like if you've got other lures that you're carrying or like that you have in your stash, what I did is I kind of sorted them by tab. So like on my tab number 2, that's all the lures with 2 pieces. On tab number 3, it's lures with 3 pieces that I already had kicking around. So if you've got a bunch, that might speed things up, down the road. But I think I'm most interested in shiny metal. There's not a lot of info about that one.
No, there's not, and that's actually one I have for some reason. I thought that would be far and few between.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out to be the bloody flesh. Let's see. So everybody should have roughly 16 lures that have individual items on them.
5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9. 9 singles. Or do you want to make us 2 of each? Or do you
Yeah.
want us to make 2 of each?
2 of each would be preferred. That way I can, because there's
Alright.
not as many people right now.
Yes.
That way y'all can
I
cover
might
2
need another.
places.
Oh, never mind. You already gave me one.
Yeah.
I might need another eye worm though. If you have another eye worm,
Okay. Yeah, I got one.
I could give you one. Give me a second.
I'll come back outside.
Iris, you have 16.
I
You
believe
said
so.
they have an eye worm.
For everything I have 2 of each.
Awesome.
Well, I have a hat I can give you.
Let me see.
Okay, so who needed the eyeworm?
Rhaegar.
I'll give one to Rhaegar real quick.
Ah,
Don't
there
worry
you
about
go.
it.
Thing
Give
is,
me a second.
I think
He's got
when
me.
you switch like weapons, you also need to switch. I noticed that when I switched weapons, my warrior gear disappeared. I had to switch to ranger gear. So
All right, I
I'm
know this is
left
gonna be a
with
little
my
risky,
warrior,
but
I
I'm
do
gonna
have
do it. I'm
a
gonna
hat
mute
I can
everybody
do.
around me.
I can figure out the
Whoa.
Oh,
Listen,
Jesus.
silence.
Scary. He already gave me one. I'm good. Thank you.
There we go.
Oh, you opened my inventory somehow.
Yeah. Hang on.
Oh, I see
Let's
the trade
Oh, I can't.
It's a little bit noisy out here. I'm gonna go back in my
Yeah,
house.
that's why I muted everybody. I couldn't deal with the other voices around.
I wish you could invite everyone into your like guild hall or something. No.
Yeah.
Carly's currently deafened. Kind of want to wait to explain this, but it's okay if she's just not ready. So I need y'all to give me or send me or Rhaegar information based on where you're fishing, what lure you used, and however many of each fish you got out of 15. You can do 15 casts with each lure because each has a durability of 30 and uses 2 durability per cast. If you fail a cast or fail to reel in or set the hook or whatever, it kind of ruins the statistics. So if you can make sure that you do your best and that you reach a maximum distance without failure, that'd be
Count how
great.
many you fail too, probably.
Yeah, count and let me know if it's still within average based on the data. I'm sure I'll just work in. But if you don't know anything about fishing or like whatever certain parts, the best ways to do it, let me know. I like to run on ultra settings so you don't break your reel. You don't have to worry about it turning red or whatever when you're on ultra. And
should have 2 of each.
I can't hear what Hunting Fun is saying. If he looks like he's talking to me, but everybody's muted.
What was the question? It's under the
In the community.
Here, let me. I'll send it to you.
Hello, Rary.
What's up?
Will
Yeah,
you
I
be
just muted
joining us
everyone.
today?
Every time I open my inventory, it opens the trade window.
We might
That's weird.
want to log.
You can trade with me.
Huh.
So, Decoy, what's our first location?
I will pretty much sort it out accordingly. Most zones have a couple locations, and I think we have like 8 people. I guess 7, because I'll be doing a little something else for a little bit while everybody's getting situated.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, I'm getting the height variance for each location and
Yeah.
strafability. So that you know that if you want a longer distance on your cast, you can go to a different location for it based on what fish are available there.
Well, that was helpful. Thanks, Carly.
You're welcome.
All right. Hunting Fun and Rary, we need you to go inside and use whatever lures you have currently available. Make individual lures for all of the available ingredients. So you'll make 2 lures for lesser eye, tongue, feather, blue scale, like everything, rotten finger included. If you need rare ingredients like shiny metal, eye worm, or bloody flesh, which we're putting on hold on bloody flesh for now because we don't have a very big supply, let me know and I'll give you what you need.
So, you want 2 of everything?
Make 2 of everything, and you'll cover 2 bodies of water with those lures just to see what's in it. And I'll make a chart. We'll figure out what's in each, and then we'll work on variants of the general lures and work from there. If while you're fishing, if you want to read the fishing text channel, I have it split up into phases with how we're going to tackle this.
Yeah, Deco, I
While we're
can't
fishing, Green?
type in the document you sent me.
Oh shit. I'll have to figure that out before while y'all are on the move at least.
If it's a PDF, you can click edit on the right side.
It's a web link
Mm.
to the
Docs.
spreadsheet doc.
If it's a Google Docs one at the top, there's a thing that should say like enable editing or something like that.
Okay. That'll be
It
easy
opens
enough.
in a
Then.
web browser, so I can't really find anything. I'll see if I can go in my.
Can we start?
Yeah, I was waiting for Hutton to actually.
How are you
Okay.
ensuring that all the bodies of water are covered?
I have them listed. I know this map inside and out. There are 21 currently available to fish at.
So are you assigning people is what I'm asking, or
Yes,
are we just...
yes. I'll be assigning you which body of water.
Okay, okay.
Deco, can you put me in the jungle? I'm gonna fish for minnows as well while we're waiting here during downtime.
Absolutely. And that was who?
Aeon.
Aeon. Got it.
I'm gonna go other side. It's too loud.
All right. By location. So looks like go for jungle first. Aeon. I will have you do the. Let's see, I'll leave you the entire jungle for now. The Snake Battlefield and Mountain Crest.
Okay.
Jungle Dungeon has fishing available in it. That might be a later task. So I'm gonna go ahead and put your name quick into here. Does anybody have preferences as to which zone they'd like to be on? No. Carly's done a lot of fishing. I'm sure she's only been in Kingsport.
Yep.
Whoever has shiny metal should probably do Lucian Wilds, because I do have some data that says that that's a pretty solid lure for that area.
Yeah, the wilds will probably have to tackle more together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
good
large
idea.
group guarding the fisher.
Or just me, if that needs to be done. There are me and
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar. Yeah, we are pretty much mostly immune to that, so that's not to be worried. Let's see. Iscariot.
Yeah.
I will have you go to the desert.
Dang.
It's gonna be the desert oasis. Let me see. I keep having to bring up Discord to see who's in here.
Yeah, every time I go in my inventory, it opens a trade with Iscariot on the left side.
That's funny.
I don't think it's actually like doing anything, but.
All right, and it's
just reload,
only
too.
the oasis that's in the desert. So after that, would you mind doing the jungle dungeon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Dang, I'm Steve. I put my wand away.
So I should fish for a whole set of lures in it.
Yeah, all 8 lures. Make sure you notate your data, or just type it into Discord. If you need to do it as you go, send me a direct message. I need to know how many you caught of each fish out of 15. So. And per lure, so.
Yeah, remember what lure you caught him on.
Yeah.
With just primer or just one ingredient, right?
Yes, just the one ingredient.
Okay.
Let's have.
Yeah, I would prefer myself to put it in Discord. So is there a place you want us to write it in? The fishing event or whatever?
Send it to me or Rhaegar directly.
Okay.
Probably decoy because my text isn't working right now. Yes.
I will sort that out here momentarily. Let's see. Carly, would you mind doing Lamavora? So there's a pond at the Tradu Mines and Explorers League.
Explorers League, to the right, like when you're looking at the Wilds entrance to the right of it?
Yes.
All right.
You know that's connected to the jungle, right?
Either way, it has potential to be different bodies of water considered the.
Okay.
I'm covering my bases here. I'd rather be safe than sorry with that stuff. And if you finish early, there's the standard giant Lamavor Frontier Lake. Let's
Aw,
see. To
that was dumb.
Go to the wrong place?
No.
Oh, some random kid just followed you. Jumped in it.
Not my problem.
Poor kid.
He looks a little confused though.
Iris, will you go to Guild City and tackle not only the? I know it's all connected.
Mhm.
Or
You
actually,
can
no.
use-
Lake
use your-
Susanna and the Lucian Bridge.
Okay, say that again.
Lake Susanna, which is connected to both Guild City and near the Mage Trials, as well as Lucian Bridge. That's behind the guard tower.
Okay.
Okay.
And something that might help everyone is like make like a notes app or something or a document on your phone, and you can keep track on your phone. And after you get them all, you can probably send the document to us or something.
Yeah, whatever y'all need to do to get the data over, that'd be whatever it has to be done. Rhaegar, I will leave you in Kingsport if you'll
Kingsport?
do. Yeah.
That's fine.
So the High Step Pond, just north
Step Pond.
of the zone, not Lake Kingsport itself, and actually above Lisa Falls, and
no.
verify that it has the same stuff as what's in Lake Kingsport.
All right.
Let's see, who still needs a location?
Quantum.
Quantum, you will go to Holthein's Vale. Oh, wait. No. I will have you tackle Frosted Spit. You'll get the Bay of Two Souls and Heath Run.
Okay.
Okay. So, above Leslie Falls, which other place? The pond.
High Step Pond.
I don't see that on the
kinda-
map. Where does it say? Is that
It
the
doesn't.
one like?
It doesn't.
right
I
between
just kind of
zoological
fucking named them because I needed a way to reference them. So
Like by
the
zoological
body of water
gardens?
right next to High Step. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Hey, Decoy, do you have the it's kind of a cheesable spot, but in Guild City, the waterfall that comes down, you can actually fish the top of that waterfall, and it has a different drop rate from what I understand. So maybe
that's
just add it to your list. It's not really a cheese because it is a body of water. It's just how the lure comes in. It is distinguished as a different body of water. So just add that
Okay,
onto
I
your
will-
list. It's the only thing I've ever caught out of it is minnows, but it might be worth looking into.
Guild City Waterfall it is then. All right. So
You
I'll
want to
have-
stay in one spot the whole time? Like,
Yes,
don't-
and if I don't know if everybody read it, but make sure you go to the lowest possible point. I'll get the height elevations. It doesn't need to be, I don't want everybody fishing from the peak of each location and getting the best possible outcome.
Well, some
Go to the
spots you
lo-
can go in the water. So should we
All right,
just
yeah,
lowest
go in the
possible
water.
point on?
I
Okay.
mean, on land.
Yeah. Go to the lowest spots. Yeah.
So if that's the case, I'll get my height variance. I don't want to get these y'all added to this document so I know who's doing what.
Dang it, I can't equip it because I got the trading window up. I might have to like log off, well, like not log off, but like shut down.
So like for example, with me in the jungle, there's quite a few different bodies of water. How do you want me to split up my lures? Do you want me to do like one lure of each type in each spot, or two lures of each type in each spot?
One lure of each type in both the Snake Battlefield and Mountain Crest.
Okay, just those two. Gotcha. I'm just gonna do.
Those are the actual only two there. So.
Yeah, I guess this Snake Battlefield one links all the way around.
I gotta restart.
Iscariot, I had you doing the Jungle Dungeon and Oasis.
And
correct?
Desert Oasis, yeah.
Perfect.
Is the jungle dungeon two different bodies of water, or is it all just one because of that little island?
It's one big ring.
Yeah. Probably gonna be the same stuff as the jungle.
It's tough to say.
I got EO out of there. Yeah.
Somebody find me an alternate place for clownfish. and I will be happy.
I feel like we lost somebody. It's pity.
Yeah, I heard of somebody leave, but
It was quite a while ago, though.
yeah. One, two, three, four, five, six. So there's 7 people right now here.
Yeah, and so I've still
that's what it
got
was.
Lucian to be tackled, as well as, well, actually just Lucian for the most part. Lamavora Frontier if Carly doesn't make it over there. But I'm gonna go ahead and just start traveling and get the height variations. Make sure y'all are, constantly reeling to speed up the process and all that jazz.
I was just gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, because it's distance based, so cast as far as you can and just keep reeling and make sure you know any failures for each lure and which lure it happened on and all that.
I'm about to make a document to help keep track of my stuff.
I will edit this one so that you can.
Okay, any of you ever fished in this oasis at the desert?
Yes.
Is there one sweet spot where you can actually throw the lure into without it glitching through?
Extremely difficult. And there's like a little tiny piece on each sort of lobe, but it's super hard.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing. The problem is every time I throw it, it still counts as a positive throw, and it counts for durability loss. Yeah. Even if it's glitched out completely.
Well, take your time with your. If I need to, I can bring over lures for you when I'm doing my traveling.
Yeah, for the most part, aside from the rare stuff, we'll have a lot of lures we can make up.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like, if we're in a serious shortage of things, a couple of us can go and just farm for specific things if we're short of one or two items. But I think between us all, we've got quite a bit of stuff.
What did you want it in a specific format? YAML, CSV, something amazing, JSON?
As long as it's editable, it should be okay, because then you can just copy the text out if it's not a.
So you're not importing the data? Okay.
No.
Or just
I've got like 4 different spreadsheets going right now, and how I'm having it organized is gonna take a little bit of finagling.
Okay, do you want me to start in Guild City proper at the docks? Like on it near the shark that's kind of hanging?
Probably just as low as you can get within that area is basically what you want.
Should we write down when something nibbles?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yes. I know, yeah. I'm not catching much on this lesser eye.
Depends on where you're at. Somebody's gonna have a good day with their lesser eyes.
I guess so, yeah.
Alright, what am I not seeing to make this document editable?
It could be on the right side in Google Docs. There's also a thing in there that says like who can edit it depending on how you set it up.
Oh, there it is. That's silly. Rhaegar, message me your name and or email address.
Yep. Oh, after I reel on this one.
Alright.
Yeah, first and last name. Alright, yeah.
Just says name. I think it might be safer to do email address based on how you log into Google.
Is level of fisherman going to be a factor?
No,
No.
not at all.
How many total casts did you say there is per lure?
There's
15.
15 total.
15? Okay.
This stinks. Haven't caught anything yet. No fun.
But
I'm
that
sorry,
is
this is
valuable
not going to
data.
be the most exciting day.
Yeah.
Try the Oasis. This is
Exactly.
no fun.
It's like fishing in a
honestly
pothole in the
isn't.
street after a rainfall.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, I'm gonna be going dark on Discord for a little bit. You can just message me if you need me for anything,
Hey,
just so I'm
worries.
not constantly talking over people.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Welcome, Rejinx.
Okay. So, we got a plan of action here. I'm gonna just leave my stool here for a second. So, basically what I need you to do, Luca, if you're with me here, I need you for each one of those lure types that I listed for you. I need you to shit. I'm gonna need to go like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna need you to make a list, just in Excel, for each one of those lures. We're gonna basically have 2 zones that we're fishing in, and for each one of those zones, we're gonna do each lure 15 times. So basically, how I want the spreadsheet laid out is into two blocks of data, and they'll basically just be numbered 1 through 15 in each of those blocks. And I think this is going to be my lowest point for fishing. I just need to find a wide spot here. So numbered 1 to 15 in each, and with each individual lure. Okay, this looks like it's going to be where I want to fish. Yes. Okay, so we're going to start off. Oh yeah, it's fucking real crazy, you know? We're going to start off by fishing with the lesser eye. Okay, we got our fishing stuff. We got lesser eye, yes. So 15 casts with lesser eye. I'm just going to call out what they are. The options that are going to come up for this are catch. So it'll be catch and then whatever fish. There's going to be one that'll be fail. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is do catch, no catch. And that means I casted the lure out and I reeled it all the way in. So those are the 2 main options. Fail will be if I cast it and it goes too far or too short or whatever and doesn't actually land in the water for reeling. That's what fail is going to be. And I'll maybe just make a note on that, like fail long or something, or fail short or whatever. Then there's also going to be nibble. And that'll be if something nibbles on the lure, but I don't catch it. And that's basically the only things we're going to write in, and we're going to do it 1 through 15 on each one of these. So it should be pretty straightforward. So nibble eel. What did I say that one was going to be? Just a no catch? How did I say I was going to do that? Yeah, and yes, it will be catch and what type of fish. So that one was nothing. It was a successful cast, but no fish. I don't know. However you want to write that. Just tell me what terms you're using, and then I'll say those ones out. We'll call that one no fish. I think that's the easiest. No fish again. No fish again. So this one, do no fish, short cast. No fish. No fish, short cast probably, but just hang on. Yeah, no fish, short cast. I got a feeling that the lesser I is going to be a not so good lure for in here. No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. Fail long cast. No fish. I think the main point we want to try and get with lures like this that are obviously don't do anything here is what is nibbling, because what's nibbling would probably say that this eye would be that was no fish, by the way. This would be the tertiary lure component. No fish. Okay, so that wraps up lesser eye. And we're going to be moving on to small tongue. By the way, that was all no fish. I guess that would be two back to back that are no fish. Oh, here we go. Large minnow. Okay, yeah, no worries. Large minnow. So that's 2 large minnows and everything else was no fish. I think that was 5 casts total. Something like that. Wow. Another fish on the line. Large minnow. That was no fish, by the way. And this is another no fish. Basically, at the end of this lure, when it breaks down, if there's anything missing, it's going to be a no fish. I sometimes get caught up thinking about like the lure while I'm sitting there. No fish. No fish. Large minnow. No fish. This is a surprisingly good lure for minnows. Large minnow. No fish. Large minnow. And that's it for this lure. If there's any blanks, just put no fish in them. Next lure is going to be feathers. Just gonna grab my water. Nice. Whoop. Tipping this bitch over. Okay, so feathers. First cast. As I fucking smash everything. No fish. No fish short cast. No fish. No fish. No fish short cast. Large minnow nibble. So that would tell me that the tongue is actually more of a lure than the feather is, which is quite interesting. No fish. I don't know if I said no fish for that last one. When you say a phrase too many times, it just kind of loses all meaning. No fish. No fish. I think one of the best things about this is that I've been waiting to kind of parse this kind of data myself to really flesh out my own list. I mean, I have my own, catfish nibble. I have my own listing of things, and I just want to make it even more fleshed out. And so realistically, what I want to do is, obviously this is like for the whole community. You have multiple people, so you have multiple data sets. But for myself, no fish, I can kind of get a pretty good idea based on my own experiences and whatnot with what the primary, secondary, and tertiary lures are for everything. No fish. Okay, Luca. No fish. And that's it for this lure. So fill in the blanks. And the next lure is going to be blue scales. So yeah, it's interesting because like tongue, for example, I didn't think that was a minnow lure at all. And I can use that data right there to help me flesh things out. So like I would maybe on the spreadsheet I sent you before, Luca, maybe put in the notes column that I have. In that notes column, put feather secondary, or no, tongue secondary, feather tertiary, or something like that. And then anytime I, have an idea of what I think the layout is, I can possibly work those into it just based on that. That one's not as big of a deal because I can look at the raw data after and do it, but it might save some time if I just do it while it's on my mind. Okay, starting with blue scales now. All right, we got a bite already. And if you see any patterns emerging yourself, or if you see that any of the information I have on those specific like fish or whatever seems to contradict with it, maybe we'll have to look into that. Okay, saddled lion eel on blue scales, first one. Okay. Yeah, I can do that later. That's not a big deal. So blue scales, the first one is saddled lion eel. You can just put eel. Second is no fish. Third is no fish. Fourth is no fish. No fish. Another eel. Minnow nibble. That's important. That minnow nibbling tells me that the blue scales is probably the tertiary for minnows. Another eel. No fish. Another eel. No fish. No fish. Failed cast too long. Eel. No fish, and that's it for this lure. Next one we're going to be doing is small tooth. I'm just checking some things here. Damn, I accidentally fucked one lure up. I need one with just feathers for the next area. So I'll have to go back to the house after this spot. Okay, so starting small tooth now. No fish. No fish. Yeah, it's definitely going to take a while. And if you get tired of doing this or you got to go, just let me know, and I can keep filling in the blanks. No fish. Like I say though, it is really important to do it with single lures and get a good data set on it. No fish. So that I can make those three-piece lures that are like powerful, like guaranteed catching a certain type of fish. Catfish. Minnow? Minnow? No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. Minnow. And that's it for this lure. I want you to make note underneath this column or whatever, depending on how you have it organized, whatever's neatest, to make it clear that on this lure, it started raining and the sun set. Just in case. All right, the next one up is large minnow lure. So I'm using the large minnow lure. No fish. No fish. No fish. I kind of feel like the weather in the game won't have any effect on it, but it is possible that the day-night cycle does have some effect on it, so we'll see. No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. I had a feeling minnow was going to be a completely useless lure in here, and I think this is confirming it. However, what I am looking for is if something nibbles on it. No fish. I think the nibbles are probably the most important thing for me right now because they're going to tell me what... I never really kept track of any of that stuff before, and that's going to tell me what the third part of the lure is. No fish. No fish. The upside is when a lure doesn't catch anything at all, it's a pretty easy lure to rule out using at all in a certain zone, which is kind of nice. No fish. I find it surprising that a lure that you catch from this area wouldn't have a natural predator in this area, though. Like a catfish or something. No fish. It's a short cast. So this one's going to be no fish short cast. No fish. I guess the other thing too is I'm gonna have a lot of fish after doing this, which will be good for potion making. Also, I was thinking the other night, no fish and this lure is done. I was thinking the other night while I was like not on stream anymore that it's kind of funny that all the potions seem to have some fish in them because those potions would all taste nasty. Next one I'm going to be doing is eye worm. Be crazy if I got a shark in here. No fish. No fish. This one's a short cast. This one is... yeah, no fish, short cast. How many lures are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lures total that I have for each zone. So we're almost halfway through the single lure testing. No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. I said almost halfway. I mean, nobody's saying this ain't tedious. It's pretty fucking tedious. But on the upside, we've got enough people that the data that we're going to gather today is going to be super helpful in determining what each body of water is going to have for data set. Okay, large minnow nibble. So minnow nibble. That's real interesting. There might be multiple options for minnows or for tertiary lures. Eel nibble. I say almost half because this is one of 2 bodies of water I have to fish with the same lures in this zone. So when I've done all 9 lures in here, I'll be halfway done. No fish. And that's just a double check and to verify that we actually aren't seeing different fish or different lures required for that was no fish short cast. No fish short cast. Just to see that we're not getting different things within the same zone. And I mean, from my experience in the wilds, it at least matters. It may not matter in a place like the jungle, but who knows? I mean, that lake up by Mountain Crest, I don't know what it actually connects to. So it may have some interesting properties to it, as it may be not technically like this jungle water. No fish. Like this may be the only water that's technically called a jungle water. The other body of water may be a, like it might connect to high step. Okay, no fish and lure is broken. Or end of lure, however you're describing it. The next one is rotten finger. Now my theories on rotten finger are that it has a chance at catching anything you can catch in this body of water. So I'm thinking we'll probably see lots of fish biting on it. But I don't really know that its benefit outweighs using it as a tertiary over a proper tertiary. We'll see though. No fish. Eel nibble. Eel nibble. No fish. No fish. No fish. I'm finding this interesting. Rotten finger doesn't seem to work here like it does in the wilds. So rotten finger may be a wilds lure, much in the way that eyeworm is, that minnow appears to be. Probably shiny metal. I have a shiny metal lure to test after this one, and I have a feeling that shiny metal is not going to catch anything, but we'll see. No fish. No fish. No fish. Minnow nibble. No fish. No fish. No fish. No fish. This lure is not very good in the jungle. Basically, any of the ones that I predominantly associate with the wilds really don't work here. Okay, no fish, and that's it for this lure. And our final test in this area is shiny metal. Let's just sort it out here. Okay, so I am going to do shiny metal in here. Then I have to head back up to the house real quick and grab one lure with just feathers on it because I messed up when I was making my second feather lure in here. Call this, what is this one? I think it's called Snake Pit Island. Let me just get to it. Oh, Snake Battlefield. Call it Snake Battlefield. And then the next one, the next area after this is going to be called Mountain Crest. Okay, so shiny metal. Starting this test now. This is the final one for this area. I think what I'll do is, if there's something, I'll say what it is. Whether it's a condition like a failed cast or a fish or a nibble, I'll say something. Otherwise, I'll just stay quiet, and at the end, I'll tell you, and then everything else can just be a no fish. Because it's starting to get kind of stupid just saying no fish over and over again. And it lets me jibber jabber a little bit more. I'll try to keep track in my head of roughly what cast I'm on. And then that way kind of say where within the cast, like the lure, things we're catching or whatever, but I don't think it really matters. I think it's just either it works or it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of my thoughts on it as well. I mean, it would if it was an RNG thing that was like every 5 casts you're guaranteed one of this kind of fish on this kind of lure, it might make a difference, but I don't really think that that's the way their thing works for this. I think it's a percentage based chance based on what lures you're using. Okay, 1 through 10 is going to be no fish. 11th is going to be large minnow nibble. Minnow nibble. All right, I think this is the last cast. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay, so no fish except for the one nibble. A 100 throws would be crazy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna head back to the house and grab a single feather lure, and then I'm gonna come back here and grab a drink right now. Oh, okay, thanks. Okay, so let's get that single feather lure made. Should be that one, yes. So eye, tongue, feather, scales, tooth, minnow, eye worm, rotten finger, shiny metal. And we are good to go. Let's head back out. The other spot is called Mountain Crest. So what did we catch out of that? We caught 5 eels, 15 catfish, and 14 minnows. So catfish and minnows are definitely the number one thing you're going to catch in there. I mean, the eels with the right lure combination, I could actually probably catch quite a few of those as well. That one's going to be a little bit tricky. I think the main thing that's really kind of throwing me for a bit of a loop on this last little data set is that I was under the impression initially that the nibble would then indicate your tertiary lure, your third lure, your most minor lure. And it doesn't really seem to be the case. It might be, but it might also be that, like, for your tertiary lure, you might be able to have, like, 2 or 3 different tertiaries that all will have the same, like, effectiveness or whatever. But it does seem like there's some that are more effective. The fact that I got a minnow nibble on shiny metal when I'd gotten minnow nibbles on other stuff as well seems to sort of indicate that, but I don't really know. I guess we'll kind of see once everybody's data's in what kind of what the nibble stats. I can't wait to see the nibble stats, you guys. It'll be interesting to see what those show up as. So that'll be kind of neat. All right, so we're gonna head up to Mountain Crest now and repeat the same process. How long did that take? About an hour? Was that... I don't know when we actually got going. Can you look at the chat and see what the timestamp was for when we started, just to get an idea of how long it took us to plow through those? Yeah, it is. This is dry. This is real dry. But the upside of this is the data gained from this is going to really help with when I do want to fish and I'm looking for a certain kind of fish, I can then go out there with like a power lure and just be like, bam, 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 and catch 15 fish per lure, basically. No timestamp. Shit. Maybe I'll have a look at my own. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Okay, so like let's say 240. No, it was longer than that. It was like 50 minutes. 45 minutes, let's call it. So to go through each one of those lures took 45 minutes. Wow. Wowza. That seems really long. It didn't seem like I was sitting there for 45 minutes. Time flies when you're doing sweet, sweet FA. Yeah, we're just about there. Now, I don't know if Decoy has plans to move on to secondary, to move on to 2-piece lures today. I'm really hoping he doesn't. But if he does, we're going to just get it over with and we're going to keep going. And if if you're too burned out on it, Luca, that's fine. We will move on. Okay, well, that's actually something that I had thought of before, because sometimes people say like, oh, I caught this fish on this lure. And I'm thinking, that's the complete wrong lure. Like, I didn't use either of those components. So maybe, it is a definite maybe. Definitely maybe. You know. I'm going to see if I can get... maybe the place to fish from is over there, because then I can get a cast across the water. Because I was not really aware of this, but apparently it's the distance that matters in terms of how well a certain lure works. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to cast out that way. I mean, I guess I could go that way, but I kind of don't want to be facing the wall. Wow, I am like deep in the grass here. That's better. Okay, so first lure in Mountain Crest, the lesser eye. I don't think you'll have to do one of every combo. I don't think it's going to be that aggressive. But if the data we get is really conflicting, it may indicate that. And that may be something we'll have to look into. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I still have my sword equipped. Okay, first cast with lesser eye in Mountain Crest. Oh yeah, this is okay. This is a pretty good spot. I don't think I'll overcast here, which is good. That last spot, there was definitely the chance of overcasting, so... I kind of feel like the... Okay, this one's going to be... No fish short cast for the second one. I feel like this, the method that I kind of thought up originally as to how the fishing works seems to be correct. There's occasionally outliers, but those occasional outliers, minnow nibble, those occasional outliers don't seem to be, they don't seem to be indicative of a trend. They seem to just be like single outliers, like, and I think that maybe, oh fuck, keep doing short casts here. No fish short cast. I think what they may be is that every lure has a certain slight percentage of catching any fish, I think. It's just a much higher percentage with whatever its lure is kind of predominantly focused on. Like, if it's a primary lure for something, say it's got a 75% chance of catching that fish, and then your secondary lure might add in 20%, and your tertiary lure might add in 5%. But all those extra openings, like, I mean, like, if it's a secondary lure and it's got a 20% chance of catching whatever fish, it's also got a small percent chance of catching every other fish. I mean, I don't know what the percentages are, but that's kind of the way that I see it. Like, if there's 10 fish, there's 9% of, like, if there's 10 fish in the game, there's always going to be 9% that is not that is gonna, like, there's gonna be 1% for each fish, basically. At least. No. Sorry, that's wrong. If there's 10, there'd be 8% chance of catching all the other fish. 1% each. Then 20%, and then whatever. So I don't know. I'm just guessing on this, but that seems to be the way it works, and it would explain why you have nibbles on those 1%. That's what they would show up as, is nibbles, I think. Or maybe it'd be like a nibble based on it being, I don't know. The nibble would be if it was like a 1% chance. Catching it would be like if it was the secondary or primary, depending on what the consistency is. I should really put a little table together with my thoughts on it, but that does make sense, doesn't it? No fish short cast, but I think we can just go ahead and call this entire grouping for lesser I as no fish. But we'll stick to keeping those short casts on there just in case. All right, no fish, and that's the entirety of that lure. Next one is small tongue. Yeah, the eye is super fucking useless here. Oh. It's a little sidearm. I got high hopes for tongue. Tongue worked good in the other area, but this may be a completely different ballpark. The other interesting thing is I did not catch a single sunfish while I was over there. So that in my mind is quite interesting. Usually you catch sunfish all the time, no matter what you're fucking fishing for. Deep tonguing. I feel like every cast I'm doing here, even the short casts, is technically sort of long. But I don't know. Also, can you make note for under, like, by or near or under, whatever, for lesser I, that it's nighttime, no weather? Again, I don't know if it makes any difference, but I should keep that stuff noted, because say I don't catch anything with lures that I think I should catch something with, that might be sort of interesting. It might show something. It might show a trend that I didn't know was there. And it could be because of this body of water, or it could be because of the time of day, or it could be because of the weather. But if you look at that data and it looks like an outlier, then you can come back and test it in opposite conditions and see what happens. But it's a hell of a lot easier to test it once you have some data to compare it against. Eel nibble. eel nibble. More or less, yeah. Eels. Oh, here we go. Finally got something. I bet it'll be a minnow. Maybe a catfish. Caught a lot of catfish. I could see this being a catfish. Yeah, this is going to be a catfish. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. Maybe minnow as well, though. Did catch a lot of minnows on the tongue. Yeah, minnow. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's the case as well. And it was something that I had sort of dismissed initially, but the theory gained a little bit more credence for me. Just due to the fact that I could not catch any fucking clownfish early on in the day. And then, like, I have to look at what my chart said, but it was either afternoon or, like, as the sun was setting that I caught a shit ton of them. I caught another minnow. Another minnow. Yeah, man, I can't believe I never really pieced together that you need tongue for the minnow. I guess I just kind of assumed it would suck. But it is definitely the predominant lure, I think. I mean, fishing with single lures, it tells you a lot about you can look at the data from one lure and be able to tell what the primary, secondary, and tertiary are. Oh, lure is broken. So that is it for that one. And we are now on to feathers. Feather boy. Fishing at night would be so much more enjoyable in this game if there were celestial events that happened. Shooting stars and meteors streaking across the sky and shit. It'd be fucking awesome. And it would make you stop in VR and every now and then just be like, whoa. Or a comet. Ugh. And if they had a special event where, much like in Maximum Overdrive, when the trucks come alive because of the comet flying over, much like that, there would be a special event that would happen while the comet was approaching, and flying overhead, and you could see it pass over, and it'd be nighttime the entire time you were playing. Or it'd just be visible during the day. But still, it'd be fucking cool. They need to put more stuff like that in these games. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm going to say that this is the same body of, or not the same body of water, but the same type of water. It's the same zone. The only thing that had me questioning that was the fact that over in here, this body of water technically heads out towards Highlands, I think, because this would come around. So this body of water probably joins in. It's tough to see right now, but maybe you can see it during the day. But I think that this connects out onto the top of the water that would then run over the waterfall to Guild City in that direction, and then over the waterfall by the witches thing or whatever in just outside of High Step over that way. That's kind of my impression of what this area, where it is geographically, but I'd kind of have to check. And yeah, I hear you. I'm just kind of grinding through these. I'm not expecting any differences in here. However, there is the chance that I could catch maybe sunfish in here, but I think I would have already caught those with either the eye or the... What the... Is that decoy? Oh, that's funny. Look at him go. He's fucking hacking. He's hacking. He's water hacking. I'm gonna... okay, that was an overcast. So, failed cast, too far. What's up? Going for a little swim? Cool. I didn't know you can get in the water right there. That's cool. I'm going to try that after I'm done this. I'm going to reel him in. Look. Can't catch me a decoy for the life of me. Yeah, I think I hit the other bank. I think that's the only possibility there, because I'm I think when I cast that one, I cast kind of towards there instead of there, and that is a further cast. I think, if I'm not mistaken, decoy's probably mapping water areas and stuff. What? There's more people going in the water now. It's fucking swimming party. Okay. Feathers are done. Blue scales is up now. Yeah, feathers are totally fucking useless out here. See, and it was important to test feathers in here because if I could catch catfish with feathers in here, that would tell me that it's at least a secondary lure. Which would probably say that this water right here, you know, versus the other jungle water is technically connected to high step, and I don't think it is. After that pretty much tells it for me. I mean, I'd like to maybe see what the results are for everything else, but I have a feeling they're going to basically say the exact same thing. But it's better to be sure than to guess. And there may be specific lures that work over here that don't over there, which would also say something about this area being sort of a different area. Okay, eel. I figured that's what you meant. Ooh, wow, there's a lot of people in the channel helping with fishing now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people total, including decoy. So that's pretty fucking neat. I wouldn't mind sitting in there normally. You know, listening to people and whatever. It's kind of an easier way to pass the time than just sitting there doing it. But being required to basically call out stuff as I'm catching it is pretty annoying when you're in a big channel. Eel. And I think the other thing too is I like to just kind of talk about things, like spew things off the top of my head, ideas and thoughts on what I'm doing at the time and yada yada yada. And I don't really like doing that when I'm in a Discord channel with a bunch of people. If it's a small party and you're doing something, then it's fine. But when you're in a group with people and everybody's kind of like not together and they're doing their own things, or like the world boss is another good example, you get a lot of like almost like you feel almost guilty. Eel. You feel almost guilty for talking when other people are trying to talk, or like, you know, when there's so many people in there, like, I don't know. It's just a dick move and I don't like to do it. So when there's that many people in the channel, I don't necessarily want to be in there while I'm chatting about stuff and fishing. Eel. Can you fucking not? Bro. I know, I'm muted. Don't do that. I'm such a loner. Yeah, I don't think I really don't think time of day is affecting it that much. It does have an effect, I think, but I think it would be fish specific if it does have an effect, because I was catching eels both day and night with about the same frequency on the exact same lure. Eel. Just caught another one. So if there is a day-night thing, I think it must be tied more to specific fish than it is to caught another eel than it is to just in general. My dog is tearing it up upstairs. You can just hear him throwing his ball around or whatever it is. It's probably the ball. That's the noisy toy. Another eel. Fuck, that's got to be close to almost broken. I haven't really been keeping track of this one. Okay, that's it for this lure. And we are now on to small tooth. Yeah, that's a pretty good haul. I'm gonna reel this one in, and then I need to grab a drink. We got a fish on the first cast with tooth. It's a good sign. It's probably a minnow. Haven't caught any minnows in a while, so. It would be interesting if we didn't catch any minnows in this area. But I have a feeling we will. Like that. Minnow. Ooh, you bet catfish and you was wrong. Oh, did I? Oh, okay. Okay. Going to continue on with the tooth. Damn, that was a long cast. Maybe too long. What do you mean, some things being okay but not great? Like having a secondary lure? Is that your, like the secondary component? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm... It feels like the more data I get, the more that theory is confirmed. And basically, like, it's a reason why a lure that I have that might not actually be perfect can still work very well. Simply because it's another minnow. Got another minnow. Yeah. So I would say like tongue, tooth, and feather for minnows, if I'm remembering correctly. No, feather's useless. Not feather. Tongue, tooth, and scales, maybe? I can't remember. I would say tooth is my secondary for minnows, though. As another minnow. I think there was 4 minnows altogether. Either way, the difference is pretty insubstantial. I mean, it's either going to be like 3 or 4 minnows, or it's going to be like 9 or 10 minnows, you know? There's another minnow, I think. Yep, it's another minnow. So we're up to, let's call it 5 minnows total. And I think we've only got a couple more casts left. Eel nibble. That's interesting. Caught another minnow. And the lure is now done. And we're moving on now to the large minnow. Get ready for absolutely no excitement, because the large minnow will not catch a fucking thing out here. Pretty much guaranteed on that. Might get a nibble on something, though. I think last time I had I think it might have been a catfish nibble. Minnow nibble. A minnow nibbled on a minnow. Alrighty. Fucking little cannibals. This chair's so bouncy. Fucking bouncing all over the place. Every time I reel, I'm just fucking springing back and forth. Wah, wah, wah. I think I've had this chair since I first moved out. Shitty IKEA furniture. Minnow nibble. This is interesting. This area, I'm getting lots of minnow nibbles on my minnow. It's quite strange, actually. But I think that actually does lend a little bit of credence to my theory that every lure has a small chance of any fish in that area that is available to catch in that area of nibbling on that lure, which is quite interesting. Wow. I mean, it's lots comparatively speaking, I guess, right? Like the other area, we didn't have, I think we had one nibble and it was not a minnow. So to have two of them is, if there was one, I'd be like, whatever. And if there's one minnow nibbling on the minnow and like one catfish nibbling on the minnow, it'd be like, whatever. But two back to back makes it kind of interesting because it's, well, not back to back, but almost back to back. It makes it kind of interesting because maybe there's a higher chance than I think. I don't know. On 15 casts, if it's only like a 1% chance, it seems pretty crazy. Either way, it's a pretty insignificant thing. Oh, that's right. You're right. It was the shiny metal I'm thinking of that had the one nibble on it. But given that most fishing lures incorporate some manner of shiny metal, you would think that the shiny metal would be like just an absolute fucking barn burner of a lure. Like it should be catching everything. All right, that lure is done. We are now on to the eye worm. Another useless fucking lure. Yeah, I'll trust you. I'll trust your data bank over my memory. My memory is not the greatest thing ever. Sometimes I lose track of what I'm talking about mid-sentence. Usually comes back to me. Also, maybe it's just me, but this mountain over here looks kind of like an inverted veiny nutsack. So that's the thing. It's got a little bit of gangrene on the one portion. I think what I'm gonna catch is a whole lot of nothing. Nibbles don't seem to translate into actual bites unless they're part of. Yeah, there's an eel nibble right there. But they don't seem to actually translate into bites unless they're on the, like, a component, like if there's multiple components to the lure and they're just added on. But it seems like the data we're getting is pretty much in line with the last pool. Minnow nibble. See? Now we're right in line. We're right in line. Fuck, thankfully we're almost done with this. I need to go and kill some things. But after this, once we've got the 2 data sets, I'm gonna send those off to Decoy, see if he's looking for anything else. And we may end up doing a little bit more fishing. There's another minnow nibble. Yeah, you know, I'm honestly like, I'm not really feeling doing another set of double lure fishing today. Somebody else can hop in and grab that data. It's a little bit much to focus on fishing for a whole day. I've got a lot of really good data here, but it's just good data for the jungle. So if I need to catch eels or minnows or catfish out here, I think I've got all the data I need to make that happen in this area. So that's pretty cool. And this honestly has been an area I've neglected quite a bit. High step, I don't think people are going to catch anything there except for sunfish. Maybe catfish. I don't think you can catch catfish there, but maybe. But sunfish and bass, I guess. I don't know if we've caught any. I don't think you can catch bass in the jungle. So that's kind of another thing that's like. Oh, hey, Winston. Well, I wouldn't say I'm getting tired of it. This is actually harder work than swinging the sword arm around. It's harder on you because you're trying to do like a distance cast instead of like just a fluid motion. But yeah, so basically what's happening today, Winston, is we've got a sort of pseudo community event going on with the community. That's Decoy's Fellowship. And basically we're just sort of gathering data. We're getting right now I'm doing the jungle. I already did the first body of water over by the Snake Island, and now I'm over by what else is it called, Mountain Crest, and we're going through 11 lures in each place. We haven't tried blood. I don't think anybody's testing bloody flesh because we just have a big shortage of bloody flesh. But everything else, like including shiny metal, we're testing all throughout here. And basically, okay, that's it for this lure, Luca. That was the eye worm. And now we're on to Rotten Finger. So yeah, we're basically, Luca's helping me out, putting the data into a spreadsheet. Then we're going to send that spreadsheet off to Decoy, and him and Rhaegar are going to parse the information and put it together into something coherent. But I mean, I can look at my own spreadsheets and say, in the jungle, if I want to catch certain things, these are what I need to use. The only thing I'm still a little bit fuzzy on is the nibbles. I was under the impression you'd only get a single. I'd say wanking is easier than this. You just fucking, you can do it with your eyes closed. I can't do this with my eyes closed. Maybe it's because this chair's too bouncy though. I need a more like solid chair. It's hard work on your shoulder. That's kind of what I mean. Because it's not like being a warrior is hard work for my entire body. Sort of. I mean, it's fishing. It's not like it's like fucking like something super heavy duty as a like a workout. It's just it has a repetitive motion. I think there is a sort of relaxing quality to fishing in this game, but it's also kind of like it doesn't really translate to what fishing's like in real life. It's just a good approximation. It'd be awesome if you could have a boat and like cruise around in the boat like trolling for fish. Because trolling is the best thing ever. Especially when I was younger, I mean, I still fish and my brothers still fish and my dad still fish, but when I was younger, we used to fish on lakes all the time, and my dad would always drive the boat. And so basically what fishing for me growing up is like cast your line into the water and then like lay down and fall asleep holding your rod. And when you catch a lure, or when you catch when a fish is biting on your lure, my dad, either I'd wake up and be like, oh shit, and reel it in, or my dad would be like, you got a fish on your line. Or if my uncle was with us, he'd always be like, you gonna reel that in or just let it? And then my dad would freak out, whoa, and then like the boat would almost tip over. So that's what if they want to make fishing like legit, that's how they got to do it, where you just get in a boat and like you fall asleep at the front of the boat. You stack up like 5 life jackets, make a little nest out of them. Man, that'd be a good game. I don't think I'd stream it, but it'd be pretty fun. Relaxing as hell. Why do you like the rare fishing lures? Because you don't have to write anything? They don't catch a fucking thing, that's for sure. Yep. I can't, it's like, they're really pretty much useless here. But man, are they ever fucking super useless in high step. I bet they're just getting so sick of catching sunfish over there. I think the best part about this community fishing day thing is the devs have already said it's totally fine for them to share all the information on this. And basically make it public knowledge what fishing lures catch what and all that jazz. And it's kind of nice to be contributing to that in a pretty meaningful way. Well, let me tell you, it's totally fine to be fishing with this finger because it's It probably came off of a scoundrel, you know, an unsavory type. Okay, that's it for Rotten Finger. We didn't get fuck all with that one. And we are on to our very last one, Shiny Metal. Look at that little shiny piece of metal. It's not really that shiny. And this ain't gonna catch nothing on it either, so, you know, go ahead and kick back, relax. You might have to put in 1, maybe 2 little notes about something nibbling on it. But I wouldn't hold my breath if I was you. Don't wait with bated anticipation, you know? Learned a little bit more about fishing today from some of the stuff Decoy said. About the distance mattering. So the further you cast, the better. And height mattering because it adds to your distance, I'm assuming. So if you fish from the highest point into a body of water and cast the furthest amount you can possibly cast, you have the best chance of catching something. And your lure is also going to increase that chance based on what it is. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Okay, we had an eel nibble. Yeah. Eel nibble. Again, the fact that I'm getting 2 nibbles of the same kind, basically back to back, is quite interesting. Especially considering it's not the same kind of nibbles I got in the other area. I mean, our data is pretty consistent from this spot to the other spot, but the nibbles change up enough that it makes me question how they function. And I think my explanation of it basically being a small percentage of any fish that you can possibly catch in that area on any lure is a pretty solid one, but I don't know. Well, I mean, it's could definitely be random chance, and you know, given that there's only a handful of fish that you can catch in the jungle, that pool of what could be nibbling is much smaller. I get that, but like, it's just interesting. Whoa, fuck, failed cast short. It just fucking button slipped out of my finger as I was casting. I don't know. We'll see once all the data's in. Let somebody else do the hard work. I know for my own personal records what catches what in the jungle. Another eel nibble. I mean, I'm starting to think it's less random chance now, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like that seems quite high. Like, even if I don't get another nibble, that's like 20% chance of an eel nibble on this lure out here. But yeah. Okay, well, okay, that's it for this lure, so we're done. You can send that one off to me now. And yeah, we got a pretty good haul. 12 eel, 15 catfish, and 23 minnows. The minnows, man, tongue for minnow is just fucking sweet. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little thing where we take this little thing, get it out of the way. Whoops, whatever. And we'll get this moved over here. So originally, for minnow, I had said small tooth and feather. Feather is a total bust, but tongue and tooth are for sure, and then we'll have to just kind of look to see what the tertiary is most likely to be, just based on, you know, other catches and whatever, nibbles, all that kind of jazz. But we got some good data, and I mean, that's what's 20. Wait, what's 9 times 11? So 99. No, wait. Yeah, 99. Wait, what am I doing here? 9 times 15. What is that? That's how many casts we did to get this data. All right, so now we're in the water. That's neat that that's a thing you can do. Oh. Fuck, this is interesting. This is Lamavoran water, and if I'm not mistaken, the camp is right up there. Yeah. Okay, my brain was off on where this was pointing. And that explains why we weren't catching any fucking sunfish or anything like that. This is straight up Lamavoran water. Now I'm curious if this body of water actually does catch anything different. Huh. That's neat. Got a good idea geographically where we're at now. That makes a lot of sense. So 135 casts. And so out of 135 casts, we caught, who's that? 35, 40, so 50 fish. 50 fish out of 135 on single lures. And that's not too bad. That's not too bad of a that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like when you look at that, that seems like the differentiating line. Okay, so I am going to I'll head back to my house and take a quick little breather, send that, refill my water, do all that jazz, and send off those sheets to decoy, and then I'll hop back in and we'll figure out what we're doing next. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so we are good to go. Data's sent off. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. You know, I was kind of hoping I'd get a level while doing that. It was quite a bit of fishing to not get anything out of it. But it is what it is. I don't think I can sell those. I'm gonna double check though. They haven't replied yet. I think Decoy is still pretty busy and they'll just parse it later. I'm gonna hop in the channel with them in a minute, just to see if. Yeah, okay, we can't do that. So I'm just gonna break all these down. Oh, fuck! I hate when I do that. It's like playing a fucking slot machine. Nope. Once the lure's broken, it is broken for good. It's fucked. Eels. We got lots of eels now. Catfish. We're back in the catfish zone. Minnows. Got 7 in there, but that's not what they for. In here. In here. I think basically what's going to happen is Decoy may need those minnows for people. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to hop in the channel with them now and see what's what in the butt.
And I was trying to smooth it over, but I couldn't. And so I made my own to get around that.
Yeah, smooth it.
Oh, I think that I got caught in the middle of that recently. I'll tell you that story privately at some point.
I'm sure you were either with EK or Alphabet, and then you were in the wilds with them and, you know, got caught up in the crossfire. Something like that.
Yep.
Yep.
I just dropped Alphabet as a guild because I found out all the...
Is it just me, or is he cutting out pretty hardcore?
He cut out super hardcore. And it sounds like he's in a well. It sounds like he's at the bottom of a well. A digital well.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I can understand you still, so. But it cut out pretty hard there for a sec.
Okay, so Decoy, I sent you off those my two lists. Do you need any minnows for people?
Yes. If you have minnows to give, that'd be great. Yep. I think I will call phase 1 today. With I'll finish off what I can personally if everybody decides to call it quits. But I'm gonna try to finish phase 1 today for sure. I don't know if phase 2 will continue tomorrow or if it's gonna take a little bit longer for me to put all the data together.
To be honest, I honestly think that. I assume phase 2 is doing the wilds, unless you got enough people to do some of the wilds today. But with the data that I got in the jungle, I mean, obviously in the wilds it might be a little bit different because of the fish you're catching, but the data I got is pretty clearly you can see like what is the primary, what is the secondary, and the only thing I'm not sure about is with the tertiary if it's affected, like if there's multiple tertiary. So basically whenever I got a nibble, that's what I was considering a tertiary.
Yeah.
And so you get multiple nibbles from different kinds of fish. So the kind of theory we came up with in chat was that there's like a small percentage of any fish being able to catch on any lure, and on certain lures you'll get a nibble, and it's not necessarily because it's a tertiary lure. It might be just because it's, you know, getting that slight bonus, but I don't know. The primary and secondary, though, you can easily figure those out just by quickly looking at a sheet for a single lure. So
I think tomorrow, or well,
Like for sunfish, I'm looking at the sunfish. Do you think you can catch them with eye? Because I clearly did that.
Sorry, you're kind of quiet there. Catch them with what?
With the eye alert, just the eye alert, small eye.
Well, yeah, I'd have to look back at my data, but the there is definitely, like, if there is a certain fish in that area that you're fishing that has its major lure or whatever, like, the problem with the eye is the eye may not be a major, minor, or tertiary for that area you're in which case you won't catch anything on it. Like in the jungle, feathers are useless. If you have feathers on any lures in the jungle, just remake them, because what I learned today is that feather is completely useless there.
Feather is useless as a whole. It's how I've come to think of it is that each ingredient has its own value, and whether it falls into the realm of, like, it's each value for each individual fish more so than anything. So you get a positive or negative based on which one you use for that fish. And so you could use a feather to negate getting one thing while focusing on getting another. So if you throw a feather on something that you already know can repel one thing, can increase you getting fish for your primary and secondary. So I think that's how it's gonna work out. It's definitely not zone specific. Like, so it's not gonna be the feather's useless there. It's that
I think the only reason I'd say that it's zone specific is because in certain zones you can't catch certain fish. Like, from what I can tell, you can't catch sunfish or bass in the jungle. So obviously, if those two have a primary component that I'm using that isn't part of that or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, say eye for sunfish. If there's no sunfish, eye is worthless as well in the jungle. But in high step, sunfish is obviously quite useful. But I don't know. I mean,
they
it's
are scattered that way. They're definitely not everywhere.
Right now. I'm wondering what's that for in the chart right now.
You're wondering what what's for?
Like the chart you put out, the open one.
Well,
an open chart.
The charts are basically just any of the ones that people have already made. Like, I had my own that I've been putting out. They're basically just preliminary stuff. This is kind of a little bit more of a serious data discovering test. Like, my chart that I put together, I felt like it was pretty rock solid, and some of my information I can now say isn't totally accurate, just based on having done a little bit more fishing in the jungle. I can now look at both my eel and my minnow, for example, catfish as well, and say, okay, yeah, for these, this is what works well in the jungle. And I don't know, until the data is totally parsed, you can't really say across the board that that's a true thing, because it may be that, like, I found, as an example of this, I found in the greater Obnobi Desert, for example, with catfish, like, small tooth worked really good in like Midlands and Guild City, but then in the greater desert, minnow made it like really good. So like tooth and minnow was a great combo in the desert wilds, but that may not apply across the board. I think the wilds just kind of have their own fishing requirements just based on what fish are available there.
I go to Guild City as well.
But that's a pretty safe way to say that, yeah, okay, tooth is the major component, but I don't know. There might be another factor that we won't see until we have way more data. Where are you at, Decoy?
I am currently in Lucian.
Okay, Decoy, I sent you the information on my third position.
Thank you, man. And
you're welcome.
whoever that was going on right there.
That's Kelton. Kelton, your voice is really breaking up.
It's rough to hear you, buddy.
So, Pico, you're forming something like an alliance, or what is this?
So essentially, my fellowship will not be participating in Wilds PvP, like at all. I don't go out into the wilds to kill people. I believe that's what the arena is for. If you want to fight somebody, fight them there. So I don't want to lose my loot. I'm gonna go out into the wilds, farm aberrations, get resources as I want to. So I have told all of the major fellowships what my plan is, and that anybody who joins my fellowship will follow that same plan, and that a request a no-kill policy be put in place for their members as well. So whenever we are in the wild, I don't have to worry about, well, the 14 odd fellowships that have joined my no-kill policy, which is a majority of the game community.
Okay. So maybe
you also have to
later
worry about
we
no
get
one coming
big
by and
enough,
taking
we'll
your
join
stuff.
too.
A couple people talking at once.
I said maybe if we are getting larger, my guild and my people here, we maybe join too.
You're
awesome.
you're the Gummy Baron Bandit, right?
No. I am the Unsterblichen.
Oh,
The other German
that's
guild.
right. Yeah.
The smaller German guild.
Okay, I think I've seen y'all around once or twice. So definitely, whenever you want to do, like even the smallest guilds, I'm more than happy to include them on my policy as long as you understand that I have zero tolerance for that shit. Like if somebody fucks up and they go against it, then I will be letting you, I guess, know as the fellowship leader. And
yeah, that's totally fine. We only 5 people, so it's easy to coordinate things like that.
All right, cool beans. Let's see, who did we lose there?
That was no, it was the guy whose mic was all messed up. Yeah, Kelton.
He was saying something, but
oh, he was talking for quite a while, but it was just like it just sounded like electronic noise, like very quiet.
Okay, I'm out of here for today. That's been enough fishing. For
hey, will you send me your fellowship name so I make sure I get the spelling correctly? Thank you.
Sure, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette afterwards. I will send it to you.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, it was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Thanks for coming out, man. See ya.
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind.
How so? I don't know. I don't understand.
I think it's a translation thing. It's like in German you would say like never mind, as in like, you know, don't mind, like, or like don't mention it. It'd be like the equivalent of saying like don't mention it.
Oh shit! Yeah, that sounds pretty good. But damn, would not have got that. Never mind. I'd be asking. Like, never mind.
Does that sound right to you,
not wanna
Luca?
Join my fellowship alliance.
Never mind. I'm fucking out of here. Okay, I'm just getting into Lucian right now. I'll head towards the wilds. Which side of the wilds are you on?
I'm not into the wilds yet.
Okay.
I was getting the height variations. I'm at the north docks, just above Holstein. I was getting the measurements here.
Okay, I'll meet you over there.
All right.
Yeah, I think before you do anything with phase 2, I'd say parse that data, because at the very least it's going to give you like some like possibilities that you can look at and say, okay, like for a two lure combination, this is probably going to be pretty effective, and then you can then compare that to lure, which you suspect to be good, against the actual stats.
For sure. I'm not gonna start phase 2 until I get all of this information sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
So it that's why I'm hesitant to say that phase 2 will begin tomorrow.
And just be whenever it's sorted.
Yeah. I mean, needless to say, I have all the time in the world. We've got a 3-day weekend, but
nice.
Do I really want to spend my entire night and morning going through this data? Not really.
Netflix awaits.
No, I mean, I'll be in Orbus. I'll be doing shenanigans. I just don't want to stare at numbers all day.
It's kind of the thing with fishing too. Is it's like it's fun, but eventually you're like, need a little bit of a break from this.
I'm near the broken down house. Sorry, I just kept walking like senselessly.
Okay. I am just heading that way.
I need to stop by the Lucian Cube Lake.
Oh yeah, the one over at the back corner.
Yeah. So I need to go there. I went to the Greater Obanobi Desert, so between Lucian and Lamavora, that will have all of my height variations covered.
Another thing, I was talking to Rhaegar about this earlier in the day, but the one thing I kind of figured out is like there seems to be a sort of shared water overlap thing that happens in some areas. Like for example, the water in what's the town on the north side of Frosted
Mountain Crest that connects to Lamavora.
Well, that one for sure. I don't know if those ones actually share water or if it's like, you know, two different bodies of water separated by where the flowers start.
Mm-hmm.
But like for example, in the Greater Obanobi Desert, on the what would it be? Southwest side, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm just trying to go off of my memory here. No, sorry, northwestern. The northwestern Greater Obanobi Desert, that water shares water with Frosted Spit, and that explains why you like just around that corner is Frosted Spit basically, and that would explain why you can catch axolotl in both places.
Okay.
Is that you there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me toss you these minnows.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yep. And yeah, I think I'm probably done fishing for now. I might do a little bit later on, but I'm going to be on for a little bit less time today, so I'll probably only be on for another like hour, maybe 2 hours.
No, yeah, you're good. How many people are in the Hangover League?
There's a few, but the only active ones are let's see. DeMarzio's back, so he's active. I don't know if Mad Kraut is still active. Drakarn might still be active, but I haven't seen him in a while. Spine Shot and Murder Fist were pretty active. Marlight might be. I don't think he is. Debian I haven't seen in quite a long time. Mac Attack I haven't seen in a while, and Sliverwolf I actually used to play with him all the time, and I haven't seen him in weeks. So,
dang.
But I don't know.
Unfortunate.
I may just join community because it's kind of a whatever thing. I might as well be part of a group that actually does something.
Yeah. I'm all over, and hopefully soon enough we'll get enough of a base to do more like Trade-Do and actual progression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like, for me, like PvP isn't really something I do either, so I don't really care. I mean, if I do it, it's going to be in the arena, and if I do it in the wilds, it would be a self-defense thing, so I don't even really, it's not something I'm too concerned with. I like farming aberrations. I don't like worrying about people getting killed. Actually, who was it that was, yeah, it was Eris. He was yesterday. We were out farming aberrations in Lucian, and I guess it was the Nox guys or Alpha. Yeah, because he was Alphabet. So the Nox guys came in and killed him, and we're just like, huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't get. That's the other thing too, is I don't want to have to keep up with all the drama of who's at war with who and whatever. And like, if I'm putting together a group to go out and farm aberrations, I don't want to have to think, oh, you know,
because you're with him,
yeah,
you have to worry about them, or you might not be able to come because they're online right now.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And that's kind of the thing too. Like with Union of Ham, I joined their Discord just to see where they were in the wilds, so that I could just like avoid it. Yeah, and I mean, like, it wasn't too big of a deal. Like Dobbs was pretty active when I first got on, and he used to watch my stream all the time and be like, "Oh yeah, like we're over here. Like, I'll make sure they don't attack you." And it was kind of a funny experience early on with those guys because they'd come out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh, what's up now? All by yourself?" And I'd be like, "No, man, we got a deal worked out." It's
No,
pretty
we
funny.
square. We
Yeah,
square.
I paid my protection money.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And the
nice, at
other thing
least.
too, actually, with community is, I mean, obviously the goal is probably sharing information and whatnot, like making that kind of stuff available. And to be honest, like I maybe don't make guides or anything, but I'm streaming all the time, and people can ask questions and
People
watch
get a
and look
lot
at my
out of
videos.
yours, yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll do that. I just have to wait until I talk to I guess DeMarzio would be the only person that I'd be leaving behind in the fellowship right now for sure. So him and Sliverwolf are the only two that I'd be like, yo, if you guys are around. And DeMarzio popped into my chat yesterday, so he'll be back on tomorrow, I think.
If y'all are around, come join the community.
Yep. Okay, man. I will talk to you later.
All right, I appreciate all the work, man.
Yep, no worries. Cheers.
Yeah, see ya.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be on much longer, Luca. Thank you very much for your help today, by the way. That was super cool. Makes it a hell of a lot easier to go through something tedious like that if you only have to worry about one part of the tedium. And fuck, I don't know. You know, maybe I'll just do a short stream today. It was a little bit tedious, and we were just kind of focused on fishing, which can be kind of annoying, but it's also sort of good to just get all of that done and out of the way. And right, I'm gonna keep my capes and stuff in there. Let's pop all of this stuff into here. And that happens. And maybe I will pop these rings up in here just in case. I'm going to say that the ring of striking isn't even worth having anymore. I get more out of these anyways, so maybe let's pop these back into this chest here. The ring of lux I'm going to pop right down there. And let's put that over there. These are all going to be equipped. That's going to go up there. Let's swap those out. Keep my wand for when I quickly need to do. I've actually been meaning to kind of reorganize this shit for a while, so it's actually not too bad of an idea to go through and do this now. Let's move these capes over into here. This one's going to get put on. Basically all of this stuff's getting put on. That stuff's just going to stay hanging out there. And I'm going to pop this down there. It's going to be my spares, so I've always got some here. And on this page, I'm going to throw in some different garb. Alrighty, and I think I'm going to move these keys over to here to reduce some clutter. I don't know that I really need to keep those keys on me, but I will because it's not a big deal. I'm keeping this page open because this is going to let me sort my fish by lure. So I can quickly look at this page as a reference and say, okay, this is what catches that fish. And I don't need to look back at guides and stuff. I can just come in here because it's going to happen when I'm making lures anyways. So I think that's like the best approach. And obviously this stuff is going to get modified a little bit after doing this testing and stuff. So for example, minnow here, I had small tooth and feathers. That's going to be tongue, small tooth, and something else. I don't know what. I'm going to keep this page basically the same. And this one here, scales, tooth, and feathers, I don't know. We'll see. That one may change up a little bit. All right, let's get ourselves looking fresh again. All right. Cool beans. Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, you know what? Let's call it a day there. It's gonna be a short stream. There's not a whole lot else that I really want to do today that I'd have time for. I don't really want to start a Tradu run now because I'm not gonna have enough time to really see it through. But I would like to do some like some serious grinding on any of the other keepers. So I've got 2 keys right now. Come on, come on, come on. Take forever flipping through all this shit. Obviously, I need to kill, since I picked this quest up, I haven't done any of the keepers or bosses or anything like that. So I need to do a lot of kills on these. And ideally, how it would work is five runs on Sentry and Mistkeeper would net me 5 and 5. So it wouldn't take that many to actually get through these. And then once you've gotten enough of the Mistkeeper, then you just do Sentry, knock those out, and do them one at a time and focus on whatever. But Sentry's so easy. Usually you're going to just do that anyways. So I'm not too worried about Sentry. Sentry's going to happen regardless. Mutated Worm, I mean, there's no way of getting around that. Mutated Worm and Soulkeeper, they're going to take a really fucking long time. Mutated Worm is such a stupid long-ass fight that it's just like it's going to take a long time. I'd say the same thing with Squiddy. Now that I know how to do it, Potion Keeper's a breeze. Tank Keeper, I think, could be a breeze. It just depends on who I'm with and how much they know about the fight and how to behave in the fight. And I honestly don't really know too much about how to approach Tank Keeper or Mutated Shroom, because aside from yesterday when I did a little bit of a run on them, I didn't spend too much time after that on them. From the day it launched, I checked them out the day it launched. I had no success on either, and came back and it was a lot easier to approach it. I think it's mainly because a lot of people are more decked out now, but I don't know. So the thing that I want to do is just kind of slowly tick away at these. And I mean, right now I've got the Potion Keeper. I've got 2 of the Potion Keeper fragments. So I need to get 2 more of the tank, 2 more of the mist, and 2 more of the soul. And then I've got myself a pretty good setup to do the new world boss when it launches twice. So that's kind of what I'm going to be slowly gearing up towards doing. And in the meantime, it's just going to be ticking away at that stuff, checking the list. I mean, the reward for that quest is just a cape, so I'm not too concerned about doing it, but it would be nice to get it done. Same with this bestiary quest. It'd be nice to just tie it up and be done with it. I still need a shit ton of tentaculars and a few more mutant cactars. The cactars won't be a big deal. It's just getting a group together to do aberrations. But I think with people needing more of the, shiny metal and flesh and whatnot, you're more likely to get groups now that information's a little bit more out there. in terms of needs for fishing and whatnot. And I mean, you need those for certain potions and stuff, and people who want to do potion making are going to require that stuff. So at the very least, you can make them, sell them, and make a little bit of coin off it. So that's kind of cool. Okay, I am out for the day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Later.